My mission is simple, to make you money. I'm here to level the playing field for all investors. There's always a bull market somewhere, and I promise to help you find it. Mad Money starts now. Hey, I'm Cramer. Welcome to Mad Money. Welcome to Cramerica. Other people want to make friends. I'm just trying to make you some money. My job is not just to entertain, but to educate, teach, coach. So call me at 1-800-743-CNBC or tweet me at Jim Cramer. Is there a real slowdown coming or just a lull before the Fed cuts interest rates and reignites the economy? Next week, we'll get a slew of earnings reports that will give us much better sense of where we're headed. And look, after a not-so-hot day where the Dow ultimately slipped 69 points, S&P declined 0.62%, the Nasdaq lost 0.74% because of an escalation of tensions in the Mideast among Britain, the United States, and Iran. Before that, by the way, the market was doing very, very well. You need to understand that we're about to embark on the busiest week of the year for industrial earnings. We'll be flooded with new information. If you can't handle it or can't handle the noise, especially if there's now some sort of conflagration in the Gulf, this might be the perfect week to take your summer vacation. So what is the game plan? All right, the week starts off pretty benign. On Monday, we have two important quarters in terms of gauging the strength of the economy. We hear from Whirlpool, it's the iconic appliance maker, and we hear from Halliburton, okay, the big oil service company. I think both will be suboptimal. Even with these latest reports that Iran's Revolutionary Guard, the Republican Guard, they just seized. Get this. They seized a British oil tanker. You know what happened? The price of crude barely budged, for heaven's sake. Maybe Halliburton confirms what Schlumberger already told us. Big shakeup on the board over there. The second half will be better. But this market is not the least bit sanguine about oil. As for Whirlpool, the banks have told us that the consumer is flush. We heard that from Brian Moynihan the other day at Bank of America. But how flush? Whirlpool's washer and dryer sales are going to tell a better tale. By the way, as I said this morning, if we have a down tape on Monday, maybe because of Iran, maybe because of an errant presidential tweet about the trade negotiations, you might want to consider buying the stock of American Express. It got slammed today, down 2.8%, because Wall Street thinks they're spending too much money to build a loyalty, really build out loyalty. You know what? That's just a mistake. And the quarter report, I'm telling you, was a good one. Tuesday morning, we hear from one of my favorite companies, United Technologies. I bet that CEO Greg Hayes has nothing but good things to say. The problem, some investors are extremely critical of the decision that he has made to merge the aerospace and defense business with Raytheon after he breaks up the company into three pieces. I think it's a good move for United Technologies, but Hayes has got to come out on this call and flesh out why he thinks this deal is worth doing. Coca-Cola reports too. Last night I got a question about this one. I said James Quincy, the relatively new CEO, is doing an admirable job running the company, and I'll stick with it. I stand by the judgment, but this is not an exciting stock. It's just a stock that kind of goes up over time. After the close, we get results from an opposite kind of stock. I'm talking about Chipotle. The expectations here have been ratcheted up to levels that would be too high for most companies to handle, but not this superb chain. I like it. I'd recommend buying some before the quarter and some after, just in case it pulls back. Then there's Visa. Yep, symbol V. This is an amazing money machine. I often feel like I'm slighting Visa when I highlight American Express like I just did a minute ago. But this stock is an erratic trader. It often sells off on even the best of reports, giving you the single finest moment to pick some up into weakness. Why don't you if you disagree, check the chart out of letter V. It always works. I can't wait for Wednesday because Wednesday we hear from Boeing. Now, the company has taken a $5.6 billion charge for the 737 MAX issue. You heard about it all day. It is hard to quantify the money that's involved with this kind of problem. But this charge, I think, gives you some certainty, and that's what we've all wanted in Boeing. That makes Boeing's quarter a lot less risky as far as I'm concerned. We also heard from Caterpillar. Hey, talk about less risky. A month ago, we spoke to Jim Umpleby, he's the CEO, and he told a terrific story of a new, more consistent cat, consistent being the key word here, one that's less hostage to episodic and spotty growth and to business cycles. Big buyback, nice dividend, lean manufacturing, labor cost good. I think Cat's a buy ahead of the report. And then I double down more after we see the numbers. My Travel Trust has a big position. After the close, we find out if Tesla's making money. I know it sounds odd that that's what we're really looking for here. Now that Elon Musk can't tweet under the order of the government, remember, we have to wait until the quarter to learn how the company's doing. Tesla's become the ultimate battleground where good news sends it up huge, while bad news dogs it but doesn't destroy it anymore, as there are too many short sellers. The trade's what we call too crowded. People get mad at me because I won't take a stand on Tesla, but I simply think it's a cult stock. Cult stocks are hard to game, so why should I try doing the hard money when one of my themes is Go for the easy money. Then there's Facebook. Congress has been raking them over the coals again, this time about Libra, their proposed cryptocurrency, which I think is actually a good idea, but obviously it's been drowned out by all the hullabaloo. I think Facebook's going to deliver a good quarter. Very good. Remember, a year ago was really the darkest time for Facebook. The company's getting hammered over the way they handle your data. They had a nasty shortfall. But in the end, I don't think Facebook's business has been hurt at all. You know why? Because the advertisers still love it, because the readers still love it. And that's called journalism, or at least some form of journalism. I'm liberally using the term. Also Wednesday, PayPal reports. Now, I bet Cramer fave CEO Dan Schulman will trace out the next phase of the payment company's growth. However, PayPal stock tends to stall after earnings, especially when it's had a big run going into the quarter, as it has this time. So if you're going to buy PayPal, I have to suggest, if not demand, that you wait until after reports. Now, some companies punch above their weight in terms of action, and one of my favorite is Xilinx, okay? Now, I'll be listening to this, you might not be, but it's the best way to gauge the trade tensions with China. Xilinx is a semiconductor play with huge exposure to Chinese 5G infrastructure. Listen closely to this one, or I will do it for you. They may know more than anyone else about what the Chinese are thinking. Hey, also on Wednesday, talk about one that you actually can buy ahead of it and been making money. It's ServiceNow. That's the cloud-based software company with a fantastic track record of turbocharged growth. There are no sure things in this market, but CEO John Donahoe tends to deliver. Wow, take a look at that chart. Thursday, we have a make-or-break quarter, and it's the quarter for 3M, okay? Now, last time around, the results were not so hot. Actually, the previous quarter, they weren't so hot either. But other than the lackluster earnings, there was a nasty revelation about a groundwater problem caused by 3M Chemical. It might be bigger than we thought. It's been around, but now I think we're starting to see some big numbers. Will they address it this time? Will they put it near the top of the call? How important is it? Well, will the narrative going forward be changed? It's certainly a huge concern. I mean, look what legal woes did to Johnson & Johnson last week. The stock was pancaked after a great quarter. At least 3M's already sold off coming into the quarter. Thursday, we're going to be acting. We hear from Amazon, which has been a total horse going into the quarter, with just a little profit taking after the Prime Day extravaganza earlier this week. The actual earnings here are always a wild card. I'll be paying more attention to Amazon Web Services, Andy Jassy's outfit, to see if it can match the strength of Microsoft's competing Azure platform, which was extraordinary. What an opportunity to buy Microsoft at the end of the day today. You know, I'm a huge believer in this stock. This is really, it's one of the three largest positions in my Chapel Trust, in part because I think Amazon Web Services is worth a lot more than it's getting credit for. At the same time, Alphabet reports. Periodically, I've been at odds with this company, mainly when it reports a quarter that's simply incomprehensible. Now, we're looking for less spending and more profits. Is that too much to ask? It's been a bummer to own going into almost every quarter that I can recall these times. Will it be different? Don't bet on it. Bat on shoulder. Earlier this week, I told you portfolio managers can't get enough of Starbucks. I still like it, although I want to emphasize that when this stock runs into earnings, and this had really run into earnings, it tends to be a disappointment. Finally, you want reliable? McDonald's reports on Friday morning. I recommend buying it into any dip next week. We could have some fracas in Iran, you buy McDonald's, okay? Steve Easterbrook is a dynamite CEO, and the comparisons are getting really easy. What's not to like? Bottom line, huge week. I won't even get to most of these quarterly conference calls until the wee hours of the night, but I will do it for you. At least I'll read them. You should, too, if you're going to take action. If you try to do something during this particular earnings season, this week and the week after, without doing your homework, I'm going to guarantee you something. You're going to get hurt. James in Tennessee. James.
Hey, Mr. Cramer, how are you today?
I am having a good day, James. How about you?
Oh, great. Greetings from the volunteer state.
Go Vols.
I have a quick question for you, if I can, and I appreciate all your help and your dedication to your craft, and I always enjoy talking to people I consider the best in their field, if you will.
Oh, you're very kind. I work hard. There are people who are better, but I thank you so much.
Oh, I don't know about that. Anyway, my stock is one of our favorites, NVIDIA. My question, actually, I have a two-part question. I bought this stock myself about 3 months ago when it was in the high 100s, in the 190 range.
Okay.
Excuse me, I take that back. I bought it when it was in the 160s. It had been in the 190s. Came down some, and then the trade thing started, so on and so forth. And I caught a segment that you were doing about the Huawei connection, and I had a two-part question if I could ask you.
Yeah.
Is Huawei connected whatsoever with NVIDIA? Number one, and number two, do you believe NVIDIA can get back up to those the range that I was describing.
All right, that's
the
an excellent
upper
question,
100s.
and thank you for those kind words. Okay, yes, it is connected, but in a tangential way. See, because NVIDIA is trying to close a deal with Mellanox, which is really, really important. That's an Israeli company. They need Chinese approval. Because the U.S. is at such odds with China and Huawei, it's being held up. It does need it. If it does get that approval, I think it will revisit the levels that we've seen before. Let's go to Jeffrey in New York. Jeffrey!
Hey, Jim, Jeff Wadhams, JW Wealth Money. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Jim, I'm reaching out in regard to Tellurian. On June 13th, there was unusual option activity. I followed the trade by buying the stock. A month later, they announced the finalized deal with Total, who will buy 2.5 metric tons of natural gas, invested $500 million in Tellurian's terminal. The next day, you had the chairman of Tellurian, Sharif Soki, on the show. He was extremely impressive, obviously one of the architects of modern liquid natural gas world.
Right.
This Wednesday, an analyst, Cycles Nicholas, came out with almost a 50% price target cut on Tellurian. Stock went from, or the cut went from $16 price target down to $9. Reason for the downgrade was concern of gas price in the future. However, today, just 30 minutes before close, that same analyst announced he made a mathematical error regarding Tellurian's capital structure, but to focus on, quote unquote, everything else he said. Would you agree this is
No, I mean, look, he got it wrong. I mean, I got to tell you, that was a really very difficult thing. He made a mistake in his model. The quants and the algos jumped all over it. They traded 6 million shares. They knocked it down. And look, it was a mistake, a legitimate mistake, but no. And it really hurt the stock, and I think that that's just a shame. That was not careful on the part of that analyst. And I think the stock down here is a buy. Next week will give us a hugely important read on the economy, and I'm not feeling very optimistic because so many stocks have run. On Mad Money tonight, steel yourself. I'm dropping some serious knowledge about Nucor after our interview with the CEO last night. I'll tell you if now's the time to pick this one up. Then, will Amazon's move to get out of the food delivery wars actually make shares of Grubhub tastier? I'm digging in. And it's been 50 years since the moon landing. I remember where I was. CNBC's own Morgan Brennan joins us from Kennedy Space Center, Cape Canaveral, my old days, kind of that way too now, to talk about the future of space exploration and how it relates to your portfolio.
Don't miss a second of Mad Money. Follow @JimCramer on Twitter. Have a question? Tweet Cramer. #MadTweets. Send Jim an email to madmoney@cnbc.com or give us a call at 1-800-743-CNBC. Miss something? Head to madmoney.cnbc.com.